Holy smokes, guys. It is... What day of the week is it? JT Irby, what's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome back. Another opportunity to get after, another opportunity to get a little bit better, folks. Wednesday, August 6th. Another day without too much data. The first thing that we're going to do today is characterize the market. It's the most important part of every trading session, is getting our bearings. For those of you new here, my name is Forrest. I invest stuff. I'm a day trader. I've made over 7 figures in the markets. Been doing this for 8 or 9 years before it was sexy to be a day trader. And hopefully, I'm one of the most boring traders you'll ever meet. Kind of show you what this looks like for real. Today's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about volume profile, talk a little bit about the plan for today, and we're going to start on the daily. So let's go ahead and get into it. Please ask questions. It's more fun for me when you do that. Cool. And I am in this for me. Don't get it twisted. I'm kidding, guys. Take a risk. What's up? Let me share the link to the stream in the Discord. Make sure my Discord family is involved. Hold up. Live streaming now. I think you guys can hear the music today. Can you guys hear the music? Go ahead, type. I can hear it in chat if you can hear the music. Because I'm jamming. All right, let's take a look. Let's go to the daily chart. We're actually going to go over to ES. Good morning. Good morning. No music? This is blasphemy, dude. Hold on, guys. I'm going to blow this place up. Probably can't say that on stream, huh? I mean that. Not for real. It should just be coming out, which is... Oh, you know what it is, probably? I know what it is. I know what it is. Man. That's crazy. What's up, y'all? I'm trying to solve this stupid problem. Can you guys hear it now? If I toggle this, it's probably pretty loud. If you can't hear it. It was just playing? Okay. I see now. I want to play the music, but I'm recording my stream, and I'm trying not to record the music to the recording. Oh, that's such a stupid problem. I know how to solve it with a mixer, but I don't want to set up a mixer. I want to just do it in Streamlabs. It's actually really easy if I have a mixer, so I'll figure that out later. Anyways. What's up? All right, let's see what we got. We got SMK Prabhu, Conquistador, the Swan. Nice little addition to the name there. We got Take a Risk, CHK, Subramanian, Parvathy, BD Trader, OG Trade, and Kirthana in the house. What's up, y'all? I think I'm streaming on TikTok. There's nobody over there yet, and nobody on Instagram. So it's just the YouTube clan holding me down. Today, like I said, we're going to characterize the market first. On the daily, we're still in this uptrend. We're still above this trend line here. So really, really important, guys. You always need to zoom all the way out on the macro. And Google is strange to keep changing. We got Amir. What's up, man? Welcome back. Shout out to everybody. I actually need to turn this music down. I'm getting too many vibes. I can't even focus. I'm vibing out too hard. We got to pay attention to this trend line here. All right. So there's a node right around here, right? The bottom of where this found support here. There's this prior low that it swept, and then it's ranging now here. If you can see here, it does look weak. Okay. It looks weak on the daily. We did here. We had this high volume down candle. We came up. We did not on this up candle sweep this high. We swept it on the next down candle. And so this candle is kind of a coin flip. I could 100% see it if we ask ourselves a very simple question. What next candle makes sense? I could see this candle being the candle that reaches down lower. I could also see this candle being a continuation of this tweezer higher, right? Typically, though, when we get like a tweezer like this would be like an up candle, right? This August 5th candle. So kind of a coin flip. No tier 1 data today, which means positioning-wise for the regular session, not doing anything crazy. To be honest, it's going to be one of those days where we let the market tell us to get in, right? But this looks, more weak than not on the daily, just at a first glance. Let's actually go out a little bit higher to the weekly. Weekly chart, high volume down candle. Okay, last week. So you'll remember I mentioned on Monday, or maybe you don't remember, so I'll say it again. We need this week's candle to be a high volume green for this not to be a pretty substantial sign of weakness, right? High volume weekly close, sweeping the highs, right? Engulfed previous week's candle, swept the high and the lows of the structure here, right? So the two things that are in play for me on the daily time frame is this trend line down here. Okay, I want to see if this gets supported or broken. For this trend line to touch to have confluence with this node here, it's going to need to happen in a few more days, though. All right, so we're chopping here. We come down right now, we're going to be in this low value area. Flip this area around here. There's deep low value pocket right here. We'll probably crack the trend line and come down to this node here, 6,077. Okay, and then traverse this node and probably attack this low here, right? Other side of this node, 5940. Okay, I can see that. We are, in terms of seasonality, right? We're in the summer still, but we do want to think about the seasonality of markets. We've been in this upwards grind. We could be due for some rotation here soon. So really, August monthly candle. We keep going higher and higher instead of lower and lower today, but it's important. We need to really pay attention to the August monthly. Okay, I think the end of this month is probably going to be those last few days, some serious trading opportunities there. Let's go to a low time frame. We'll go to the 4-hour. The 4-hour, we can kind of see this weakness, right? We have a high, a lower high, and a lower high still. Okay, so this is all that I'm paying attention to on this time frame. Okay, look at that, nice little trend line. So I want to see this structure get broken before probably swapping long for the RTH session. Yeah, I mean, this is just really high volume selling. I don't know how else to put it to you guys. High volume selling here. It's consolidating. We're in that coin flip area. If we think about this, the relative range of the market, right? The low and the high, we're literally like in the middle. Okay. From a price to take a position in, it's just objectively not a good price. Could you take a trade here? Sure. right? That's never the question. The question is never, could I take a trade and make money? The question is it a good trade? That's the only question that matters. So don't fool yourself, right, into conflating those two things. I see people do it all the time. Josh Mine, what's good? Rajamani, what's good? Welcome back. Shout out to the lurkers on Instagram. Shout out to the people on the TikTok. Just started streaming on TikTok too. Check me out on YouTube. All right, so looking for our low level here will be previous day low, right? The Sunday settlement low, 62.39. Okay, this will be, oh, let me label the line. Come on. We'll call this PT1 lower. Okay, higher today, in my opinion, probably be 64.29. Probably go all the way up here. I can see us losing momentum around 64.33. Actually, we'll do two targets here. Let me turn on my session volume profile, make sure there's not a POC up there. There is. Yeah, one in this node actually. My intuition is good. So we'll just say this POC 64.28, PT1 higher, right? So those are my actual targets. If we get a move, we could just, chop today. I want to see us break out of this structure here. I have a few bounding lines here. Let's go to the 2 hour. Just in this node on the 1 hour. Yeah, we're in this node here. It's what, 9:45. So let's see what the next 4 hour candle closes as here in this rotation. It's going to be a high volume 4 hour. So really important candle. We're going to see if we hold under this lower high trend, right, in this intermediate time frame, or are we going to crack it and start to race across this low value higher? Right, we'll add NQ into the mix, do the same thing. So the way that I trade, ES is the leader, always. Always, always, always. It'll save you a lot of wasted brain cycles if you start there. NQ is more volatile in nature and just more noisy in nature. So it'll tend to shake you up a bit more. What I'm really looking for is confluences with my primary thesis on ES, or just, if there's a divergence, that probably means there's going to be some grind in what's going on here. For the weekly, same thing, the daily. Where's my coffee at? Why is this not loading? Please load. Load, brother. So you can see here, very similar to ES, we got this trend line below on the daily, right? Be a great entry if we can get it with confluence. So from a timing perspective, with this node, it's going to need to be, around the 18th. So we'll see what happens here if we're going to get this trend line bounce, or if we rip lower, the price target lower is going to be probably this 22,200. Price target one lower, and higher is probably going to be like way up here, 23,560. One higher. Get rid of some of these lines. This has just been a, macro support resistance at this point. So this old measured move has become a very important line. You can see that we came up and retested it again in yesterday's rotation. Next measured move still up here, 24,500. Lower, there's tons of things. I don't need to call those out. You can literally see the staircase down here, right? There's a node here. There was another node down here, right? The downside hopefully is much more obvious. For the session today, what we need to figure out, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is, Are we going to crack out of this node higher or lower? Right? High volume up on the 1 hour there. And ES is stuck under this little line here. So a little bit of a divergence. It's going to have some patience. We'll sit on the 1 hour until 10 a.m. here. So any questions on that overview? Kind of thoughts? Thoughts, questions, concerns? On your SVP for sessions, do you have it set to all and then time frame 9:30 to 1600? Well, let's take a look at it. I haven't changed the time frame at all. So the time frame is just from settlement open, which is actually 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to settlement close, which is 5 p.m. So my SVP goes from, if you look at where this starts here, where the histogram starts, 1800, which is 6 p.m., and then, you know, goes up to 5 p.m. Boom, boom, boom. Who else we got? Rafael Husa, welcome to the party. Shout out to all the day ones. You know, I was thinking the other day, so I've been working on Forrest, which is my own trading tool, for a while. I want you guys to try it out. I'm going to create my own codes, I think, actually, for my own tool. I'll just promo my own stuff. I should just do that more often. But I do want to get it out in the wild. I have one user, which I'm pretty proud of. There's a few people using it. I have one paid user, which is pretty cool. So definitely want the real-time feedback and support. If you guys want to check it out, you just go to force-bot.com. It's a little janky, but it's coming together. Adding real-time data for options. It's mostly an options analysis tool, and then there's an AI chat bot, all designed to help with options trading. I haven't talked too much about options trading on here, on the lives at least, more futures focused, but I am an equity options trader, and most of my options trading is around the beginning and the end of the month, almost exclusively nowadays. If you remember these moves that we had, you know, at the beginning and the end of the month, you're probably like, man, maybe that guy is cooking something. He's on something. But the reason for that, right, is it creates good gamma trade setups, right? Gamma is basically where you get an asymmetric return due to the way that gamma changes. And then the reason I trade at the end of the month is the monthly candle is closing. So you can get confluence with the monthly, the weekly, and the daily candle all closing. All three of those stories have to wrap up at the same time, which gives us some pretty intense moves, which is great for getting an asymmetric return, which is what you want in trading. Ultimately, even as a futures trader, all right, we'll write this down. This is what you should all aspire to. This is like the order of improvement. We'll say the journey of a trader. We'll call this 1, not lose money. All right, so when most of you start trading, you actually want to make money. That's the wrong mission. Your goal is to not lose money. Okay, so not lose money, you know, and we'll just say step 2 is, you know, find an edge. Okay, so you find some edge. Okay, then you got to execute that edge consistently. Okay, stop doing dumb stuff. This is where a lot of people get in the cycle of boom and bust, by the way. You find some edge. The next day is not the session you should trade in. So instead of trading your edge, you just do a bunch of really stupid shit. So I'm sure that resonates with a lot of you. Then, you know, you start seeking asymmetric returns. This is inevitable, by the way. If you can stop doing dumb stuff, almost inevitably, the market will give you some insane setups where, you know, instead of your base hit, you'll hit a home run. It will happen, but it won't matter if you lose a bunch of money before that setup happens doing dumb stuff. So you got to do it in this order. But trading overall, your goal is to get these asymmetric returns. Your goal is to get the really big, like, home runs You just can't start going for those, because what you'll do is you'll reverse home run your account straight to zero. What's up, Carbs? Welcome to the party. But most of my capital stack, at least the majority, because I'm way more consistent now. Like I get way more base hits, but a majority of the money I made is from bigger trades still. It's at least 60%. Maybe 60, maybe 70%. What's up, Carter? What's up? Kino Trades. What's good? Welcome to the party. It's taking me a while to not do dumb stuff, and that is mostly behind me. Yeah, stop stepping on your own tail. Not bad trades. Yeah, I've seen, and I'm not just saying this to like gas you guys up. I've seen, even from some of the worst people who don't listen, glimpses of excellence, right? It's just that for some reason, some people find a tool that works, and then the next day they're like, you know what, I'm not going to use this tool anymore. I'm going to try and find another one. And it's like, no, just got to stick to that one tool. Just stick to it. It'll make your life a lot easier. So we're grinding up. We got 5 more minutes for this 4-hour close here. Okay. So what we really care about here is volume, which just isn't loading for some reason on NQ. There it is. Oh, gotta go grab my food. Be right back, guys. My girl made me eggs. I gotta eat these eggs. Oh, you guys can actually still hear me. I'm on a headset. Thanks, B. I'm back. What's going on? I see a familiar face. Trusted other than the rest. I could be trusted other than the rest of the TikTok traders. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I think this is my first day streaming on TikTok, so hopefully we grow a little bit over there. Trying to switch things up. What's funny is I was very against streaming until MFF asked me to do it. They literally had to beg me to do it because I literally just kept saying no. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. They kept asking me like, Forrest, we want you to stream. I was like, dude, I don't want to be a streamer. And then I was like, man, I kind of like streaming. I still don't really want to be a streamer, to be honest, because I can't commit to like a crazy stream schedule. Like the best streamers stream all the time, and one, I have no desire to stream all the time. I'll tell you guys that right now. I just have zero desire to do that, but I do enjoy it at the rate that I'm doing it right now. How has your trading journal checklist for your playbook changed throughout the year? Mine's gotten pretty exhaustive, and I think I have to dial it down. So let me just flip that around. I love that you're streaming for us. Going back and watching again for views is awesome. Yeah, that's the benefit, is all like the nuggets that I drop get recorded and they're there instead of lost. I mean, there's a lot of stuff over the last 2 years in the Discord streams that's unfortunately not captured, but now it's captured. And anytime I co-stream with Soul or the other traders, I'll make sure to stream that to YouTube as well, so that we can capture their goodness. To BD's question, how is your trading journal checklist? Simple is better, right? There's always going to be a level of discretion that you'll apply like at any moment in time. right? But it's not bad to have a pretty exhaustive checklist. Like if you go to the one that's in my link, my Stand Store link, there's a free journal and my playbook setups are there. FYI for everybody, totally free. Click on those; those are there. And that list is pretty exhaustive for the entries on like the prior day low sweep, prior day high sweep, like both of the mean reversion setups. They're a pretty exhaustive list. The idea there, though, is that the more boxes that are checked, the better the trade. So my system is designed really to be so that you have a visual indication of the quality of your decision making, right? So the more boxes that are checked, the better the setup. So that's my approach. It's not necessarily how everyone does it. You could have like a minimum number of boxes to check before you take the trade. My approach was more so I'm taking trades. Let me see how many boxes I'm checking in my system, and then I can actually see over time, okay, these different types of trades at either at this time, on this time interval, in this direction, have a better expected value and or win rate, right? And so that's why I'm so particular now. I didn't used to be this way, by the way, but I'm extremely particular and focused now, and really like, honestly, like, you know, how would I put this? I was much more open to like outside ideas. Not that I'm not now, but I guess I was searching for more ideas. But now I feel like I literally know what works as a trader. Like I feel like I know what works, and because I know what works, or I feel like I have intuition about how the market works, I don't really like seek out different types of edge. But anything around volume and stuff like that, I'm always open to. But um, a lot of the things, like I don't watch. I was actually talking to my videographer the other day. It's like a problem because I'm trying to make more content, but like I don't watch trading content like at all. Uh, so I have no idea what's hot or what the people are talking about. But I do think that to develop as a trader, you have to really spend time with yourself testing your own ideas, or testing my own ideas enough until they become your own ideas. Right? Steal my ideas, take them. Don't say you made them up. Very petty and rich, I'll come after you, but use them. Are we buying or selling gold? Let's take a look at the gold chart. Mr. Rainman 99. I don't know who that is, but welcome to the party. All right, let's go to the daily. Get rid of some of this noise here. So the first question when we're looking at any chart is, what liquidity matters? Okay. What liquidity matters? Okay. And all of you guys know, I know you can't hear me, but you've probably heard me say this a million times. The second question is, how do we get there? Okay. Broken record. Should be a broken record. First time hearing this, well, you're going to hear me say this 100 times. So we'll look at the volume profile. You can see that we're in a node here, so we're ranging. All right, so this is an auction. This is a set of prices that people have been debating and deliberating over publicly for a while now, right? So we're ranging here at the highs of gold. Below, if we're going to go lower, we need to figure out, okay, what liquidity matters lower. There's a few obvious edges where people will be trapped. So there's short traps here, okay, or each of these pivots. Okay, the pivot around the 30th. Then we got this pivot here around the 31st. Of June and July respectively. And then there's this pivot down here, right? So anybody who's trapped short is going to be down here at this level. Most people's trapped short are going to be at this price of, let's call it 33.10. Okay. So as we approach that trap, we're going to have buy side aggression there, right? So if we sweep that, go for a long, which basically means the meta right here is just play this range, right? Wait until we get to the highs here, probably at least 35.09-ish to go short. And then, probably in the last few set of prices down here is where I would try longs. I would not take risk here because we're in the middle of this relative range. Overall, if we go to an even higher time frame, I know nobody does this. Just keep zooming out. You can see that we are in like this upward trend. It's like a flag on the weekly. Let's go to the monthly. Big top wicks on the monthly. We can see an example though where these top wicks, high volume top wicks too, did just get continuation. So we want to pay attention to that in gold. We had two green shooting star candles, continuation higher. So I think the original question was, are we buying or selling gold? That was the question. I would take no action here. My game plan on gold, I'll actually just set some alerts with you guys right now. Take some trade ideas. Is I want to trade the relative high. Let's go back to the 4 hour actually. Let's maximize this chart again. So I'll set an alert here, right? Consider shorting gold. Okay, that's going to be at this top orange line, 34.74. A tongue twister for some reason, and I'll set one at the bottom. I already have an alert lower, actually. You can see right here. Sweeping this low. So when we get to the edges of this very, very obvious range, I'll take a trade. There's literally no reason to take a trade right here, in my opinion. Your risk is literally either side of the range. And like, there's just no point in even deciding which way it chops up or down. Just like if it gets to the relative high, short it. If it gets to the relative low, take a long. I'm not really looking for anything on the macro on gold though. I'll take a day trade swing on it. Not a swing trade. An at bat on a day trade if it hits either of those levels. It's 10:05. ES still squeezed under this trend line here. NQ popping higher. How am I? I'm good, man. I'm good, dude. Just trying to add value in new ways. You know, figure out how to grow the channel, growing the business. Studio business is very busy. If you want to come make some content, check out the movemiami.com, guys. Most of the walls are up, right? So construction is almost finished at the new HQ. Pretty exciting. I got to go and set up the network there, set up my office. Got a few things that I got to do. That's going to be my new streaming location, so that'll be pretty cool. I spent, you guys aren't going to believe. So glass doors, by the way, I bought 3 of these like soundproof glass doors, like hurricane impact doors. So $2,500 each. $2,500 each, guys. Okay. So it doesn't really matter, but like I was thinking about the total cost of the project. It's like a 6-figure project, right? It's a multiple 6-figure project. But I'm thinking about the cost of like putting up all these walls versus buying one glass door. It's insane. What's up, bro? What's your direction on NAS 100, up or down? NAS 100. Wait, is that the right ticker? I don't know what data source this is. I want to get the NAS 100 through. All right, whatever. It's just the same as ES and NQ. We're right up on this trend line here. You guys can see this. Let me draw this real quickly. I'm not really interested in positioning for a trade today, guys. So far, compared to the settlement trade, if you guys weren't here, right, that was a 400 point easy trade. And I am an exceptionally lazy trader. I'm only interested in easy trades. NQES liquidity grab here. TP 282, good enough for me today. Total 100 points. Good job, Quad. Yeah, if we keep grinding higher, we're going to come for this prior day high, right? I should mention the 4 key levels for everybody who isn't a part of our Discord, right? I don't like drawing them because my charts will get even noisier, right? We already have this line here, but prior day high, prior day low, overnight low, and overnight high. 4 key prices every single session. So as a day trader, an RTH trader, those are the prices that I'm looking to take action at, right? So I'll mark them up really quickly. So we got overnight low. We've got the most relevant prior day low, right? So it's going to be this one. In this case, this is the prior day low. Overnight low is kind of irrelevant. We got this low from the 5th, this low from the 1st, and then we got this high up here at 23,429. So these are my action lines for today, which is why I'm not really doing anything yet, unfortunately. Boring morning execution wise. How did I get into trading? I worked at a college at a retail brokerage. So I worked as a software engineer, but I worked at a retail brokerage called Edward Jones. Those are the guys who like knock on your doors. You're like, hey, give us your money to retire with, right? So I worked at their headquarters. My first job was working on software that move money between our firm and contra firms, right? So whenever you send your money to an account, I was building the software to move money around, basically. And so I was also in a rotation program there, got my Series 7, 66, learned about the markets like professionally, which is, not useful for trading, but I did get like professional options trading, right? That was cool. So started dabbling in the markets way back then, which was over 10 years ago now. Wasn't day trading then. Did some algo trading with a buddy of mine who worked in like equity research at the time there. And so I've always been trying stuff out, and then over time just started taking it more and more seriously. And started making a lot of money all at once, basically. I had a very big breakout year financially where I basically made like a couple $1 million from multiple sources all at once. That's what allowed me to really supercharge this whole thing. Oh. Do you use VWAP? Hi, Forrest. Good day. What's up, Sony? Welcome back. Do I use VWAP? As a mean reversion trader, I do think VWAP is good, right? So I care a lot about people's positioning. Not a lot about. So my entire system is kind of predicated on the idea that we're keeping track of where people are positioned in the market through the volume profile, right? And some technicals, like very simple technicals, low of the day, high of the day, right? We know that people are trapped there and they have to take action at these prices. For example, let's just put a line right here, right? Look at all the people who are trapped at this price, right? This auction here, this node below us is exceptionally important, right? So I'll actually leave that line on there. It's a useful little thing. So in terms of VWAP, it's useful because it tells us which price, right, could be more meaningful in RTH. I don't use it anymore. I just use the session VP when I need it. You notice I don't have it on right now because the market's not moving fast enough for it to matter. I know that there's a node right here as well, right? Just with this VP on the right. So that's the only reason I have it off is I don't need it. We're in it. I used to though. If you go to my videos from like a year and a half ago, I was using volume profile and VWAP. It is useful to keep track of if we're above or below VWAP, if we're trending, if we're holding above below VWAP or below VWAP. I can just imagine that now. So I just, it got to the point where I could just always tell where VWAP was, and so I just turned it off. Just became redundant. I mean, if you trade with VWAP long enough, literally the same thing will happen. What is the side thing called with the volume spikes? That is the volume profile. So it's really the only indicator I use to trade. Volume profile tells you volume at prices. This flavor of it is the visible range volume profile. So it tells me the volume for the prices for whatever's on my screen right now. And the reason that matters, Jonathan, from TikTok, thank you for asking, is unlike volume over time, right? We can see how many people participated in the market at this time, maybe 10 a.m. on Friday, but it doesn't answer the question of how many people participated at a price of 23,100. If I want to know how many people are positioned at 23,100, I need to accumulate volume at a price across some fixed interval of time. And so that's what the volume profile does. So I do it like this, and I also do it by session, which is this one right here. All right, so this is the session VP. The shape of these gives you intuition about the biases in the market, right? See there's little nodes below. There's a node down here. Friday, we can see that the current magnet for the session is lower, right? We have a normal distribution. Never taken stats. So this means we have like a bell curve. You've probably heard that term before. So this is probably going to range lower. You can see we're holding this trend line perfectly. I'd consider this the middle of the range, and that's why I'm not interested today. 100%. 100p. I'm trying to trade as little as possible, guys. Now, if you're trading props, as a lot of you are, I literally have a prop, logo on my stream. There's nothing wrong with that. You might have to trade a little differently, and that's fine. The best way to trade props is trade low leverage and try to go for big hits. Thanks, Jonathan. No problem, man. Thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you hang out. Woo. I kind of want to angle for a short. Just if this trend line holds here, this would be a place to short, and I could have a fixed risk. I'll show you guys kind of the bracket that I might consider here. So if you imagine, you could take a trade like this. The hell? My TP is going to be like, probably just like this low down here. So not that RR matters, but that's not a bad little bracket right there. This would be the place to short. Honestly, the touch of this trend line, this is kind of a late entry, but the first touch of this trend line would have been the short, really the ES trend line. You can see that ES had like a nice little grab of that here. So if you wanted to go for lower, that would be the bracket that I would take there. If you weren't short off of, 421 the other day. Still processing. Okay. Alrighty. Probably going to jump here in 10. So this would be my bracket short. I am, just as a transparency thing, I do have a swing long still here from the lows with like a break-even stop on. So I'm just going to let that one cook. If this one starts to come lower today, I'll probably move my stop to around 23,047. Won't let that go to break even all the way now, not with this added market information. I was positioned short yesterday at 23,232, looking for weekly lows. I took it off pre-market for 60 points instead of 200 plus. This issue has become prevalent recently. Is there any advice you have? 23,232. Position short yesterday. I mean, 232. I think the issue with your entry there is you kind of just got in late. So if we go to chart replay, there could be a few things, right? Most people have trouble holding their winners, first and foremost. What? This is... What is going on here? My replay is not letting me... Well, that's broken. Okay. You can see 232 is kind of around this POC. So you went short here. You should have shorted off of this prior measured move right up here. So we have this consolidation here, which came up into the 23,421. That's also this edge up here, though. So let's see. There's this little shelf here. So we came in here, right? This would be your short area. You kind of shorted late. When you short late like this, I imagine at the time you were just thinking like of the bounce risk, right? I just imagine you were. Because this is like in the literal middle of this relative range there, right? So your brain, 232 is literally like right in the middle. So that's the struggle with that short, is you need to lean off of some structure. So if you would have leaned off this structure, it would have been a little bit better. From there, I mean, in terms of that short, how do I get rid of this tool? Sorry, I had a brain fart there. So in this session here yesterday, right, all this volume comes in lower, high volume down candle. You got to be paying attention to the shape of the VP here, right? So we started forming this B shape, volumes accumulating at the lows. That's kind of your sign to hold there, right? It's just showing weakness, right? Lowercase B shape VP formed. It's kind of an uppercase B, right? There's some bias there, but this volume was literally came down and we just stayed low all day. We just ranged. That's kind of an awkward one, though. Not gonna lie. You took a trade late in the middle of the range. That's probably more important than anything else for that trade. I would have to look at your trades overall. Maybe you have a different issue. But if you have trouble holding trades, going to higher time frames is the easiest way to solve that. Like, you just have to go to a higher time frame. $29 views, only 13 likes. Yeah, help brother out. Like the stream, please, if you're here. Hi, Forrest. Just want an update on MFF account as I didn't receive email from them. Also, they are not supportive. I reached out to them yesterday. So I don't know why this is showing as red. It should be green. But that's weird. Let's change time frames here. That's super weird. Oh, that's broken. It's just not updating the P&L for that. So this is a green trade, by the way. Trading view is just broken. I can stop by. What do you want? But yeah, I'm following up. I pinged them. Deb, what's up? Good morning. Quick question. Teaching my BF how to trade, what would you say would be the easiest strategy to start with? I only have one strategy. I think it's simple. Is it easy? I think so. I want to actually sit and think about this like more philosophically, I think, and like kind of map out the full journey for a new trader. I'm just so far away from remembering what that's like, to be honest, because I've been trading for so long. The best thing, though, what I would say for anybody is, first, welcome to the best activity on earth. I love trading. So tell them I said that. But trade a sim account for 60 days. Okay. And just try things out. Try out my system for sure. It's very, very simple, right? The RTH entry model is literally just every day plotting prior day low, prior day high, overnight low, overnight high. And you shouldn't even be thinking about taking a trade unless you're at an edge in the market, right? So it's using those market edges along with the volume profile, right? So anytime we have structure in the market that aligns with an auction, some type of node, okay, that's where we have a trade, right? So we should always be trading for these node traversals, right? Either bouncing off of them, cracking into them, and traversing them. That's literally all my system is. Very, very simple. But yeah, I would have them start with my system, check out my videos, download my free trading journal. It has my setups there. And then in that link, there's still a list of videos showing how to read signal candles. But I think I put the list of videos, all the videos that are in our Discord as well. So it's like a crash course in our system. And then I would start with that. Then after investing some time and effort into it, to being beyond the truly intermediate, then you could consider, like, you know, buying a course or something like that. But it's not really worth it to spend money on professional help, honestly, until you know what questions to even ask. You got to put some elbow grease in first. All right, so if I'm not in the most optimal entry, I shouldn't be swinging for the fences. West Coast issue. I missed the sell candles in the morning. Yeah, I mean, one of the things about trading is, and hopefully you guys learn patience by like watching me stick to these really high time frames, which don't feel like, the hour to me feels fast. Right? It's all, literally everything in life is perspective. I used to trade on like the 5 minute as well. But I make way more money trading on the higher time frames. So trade on the higher time frames, you will literally just make more money. Okay, if I take a trade on the 4 hour, almost regardless of the VIX, obviously this isn't always true, but almost by default, every one of those trades is going to be at least 100 points. So, which can be surprising to a lot of people. I've had people respond and be like, yo, how are you getting these 100-point trades all the time? It's like, well, the truth is, I'm not getting them all the time. I'm not trading that much. I just literally, when I post them, it's like that's me getting them. So I'm not posting trades every day. I mean, I don't post my trades that often. When I do, it's like very sporadic. But that patience, you'll literally trade less. You'll capture more EV, anyways, and that's the goal. The goal is to make money. But you got to get really good at doing nothing, planning to do nothing, and just planning to wait. Like, there's no reason, by the way. Like, a lot of people are like, man, I need to do something right now. They're trying to figure this out. It's like you could just wait till we hit this low or wait till we hit this high. In the meantime, here's what's going to happen. A bunch of people are going to say a bunch of stuff. A bunch of people are going to say they made or lost a bunch of money. And that's fine, right? You literally just have to ignore that and just do what you know works. I was trying to plan where to re-enter and had no clue last night, so I figured I'd hold it and collect data. Yeah, just wait. Just wait. One of the best things you can do, this is what I believe and why I actually love studying the charts, is I think that there is an asymmetric return on knowledge. Okay, that's proven to be the case in my own life. And so I don't mind just watching the charts and testing ideas and writing it down. I actually like to do that. I enjoy like journaling and testing on ideas just for the sake of testing them, because I know maybe I look at maybe I don't take a trade for 100 days and I just study the market. When that trade comes, I'm gonna make like 100K. You know, I'm gonna make bank because I've just spent my time preparing. But you're not gonna, you guys, I promise you, you'll never get a 6-figure trade if you just kind of show up willy-nilly every day. It's just no one I know that's made a lot of money does it like that. It's always through like an immense amount of preparation. So you kind of just got to be wired to enjoy that. Like I like figuring this out over the long term with like the expectation that I'm going to see something with like, it's going to give me a crazy amount of certainty where I'm like, oh yeah, this is a 10 in Q bagger. Thanks, Forrest. I started with 30-point trades off the edges, went to 50 points today, 100 points, one trade. I'm satisfied just getting 50 points a day on this account. That's solid. Yeah, your system's not bad, Quad. A lot of people have trouble getting even like 30 points, or really they just have this perception that like 50 or 100 points is a lot. And I'm just like, on NQ? Like, what are you talking about? The daily ranges, 200 points right now. But especially when the daily range is like 1,000 points, like if you're not getting 100 points, like what are you doing? 6-figure trade, I'm manifesting one of those. You'll get it. I don't doubt you'll get it, Conquistador. You've been putting in the work, man. I don't want you to get ahead of yourself, but you've been you are on the path. By the time when you become the person that can make 6-figure trades, it's not even going to feel that crazy. Actually, you'll be pretty excited. But it's going to feel like you willed it. It's going to feel like you made it happen. It's not going to feel like luck. It's not going to feel like you won the lottery. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I should have made 100K. That was the plan. You can see here, very grindy. I do need a roll here. It's 10:30. I'm going to try and do one more stream tomorrow. My challenge to all of you, everybody on here now, we got 33 people on here. Thanks for the likes, by the way. Like the stream. Share the stream if you don't mind. Tomorrow, I want all of you to leave here today, actually, and figure out, man, what is the number one burning question that I have as a trader? What's my biggest hurdle? What is the belief that I hold about myself that's really stopping me from getting to the next level? and maybe Forrest can help me out, right? So tomorrow you can show up with that ready to go. We'll answer some hard questions and try and all get a little bit better. Today, right, because the market is slow, I expect it to stay slow. I'm not expecting some random revving up of the engine, right? It's a slow grind today. I'll keep this little bracket on here, see if this plays out. Still swinging long. I'm going to modify my stop on my swing long down to this pivot low here, 23,052, just to not let that go break even. To feel like it makes sense at this point. Outside of that, Wednesday is meh to me. The calendar, see what's on the economic calendar. We have unemployment claims on the 7th, and everything else is Britain and Canada. I said Canada. So, slowish week, which doesn't bode well, by the way. So if we go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the stream, trying really hard not to sing on stream, guys, but I'm listening to some jams, but you guys don't need to hear that. I'm not the best singer. High volume down candle, and we have a week that's come out the gate very slow. So this is going to be a low volume week. We really need to see how this weekly and this monthly closes. This could be the beginning of the market losing a little bit of momentum here, or just some really, really slow chop on the weekly. We could chop on the weekly. We could range on the weekly, right? I remember this period over here, by the way, right? Was not really the best market condition. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Cool. All right. Any last minute thoughts, questions, concerns? Why do you think the Forrest you take? Wait, whoa, I'm missing questions. Conquestor is a journal as well. I'm about to be doged, so I'm going to be a journal as well. You're getting doged? Dang, man. It's unfortunate. Do you take any 15-minute signals at all in your career anymore? I can say with 99% confidence, no. I've gotten really good at ignoring stuff, Like, I actively ignore. I don't mean that like a lot of people just, say stuff. They say they do stuff and they change what they do in a few days. That's not me, guys. Like, I literally just straight up don't look at shit. Keep it 100 with you. Part of that is because I'm so busy, like, running this business as well, which has actually made me better at trading the higher time frames. I might stop this whole thing out. I'm gonna let it cook though. But no, I literally never look. Never look. Why do you think the volume profile isn't as popular as other frameworks? There isn't some great mystic trader talking about it and a string of enigmas and weird Lamborghini promises. So inevitably, I'm sure some trader who's a much better marketer than me will watch my videos and decide to steal it or something. I don't know. Literally don't know. To me, it's the best indicator. I have no idea. I think people want trading to be complicated. Oh my goodness, that song was abrasive. Yeah, I'm surprised more people don't use it. But most trading systems that I see on YouTube are around price action, right? ICT is very price action-y. It's like very price action oriented. Whereas mine is I really have a set expectation for how the market should behave. And then I'm just waiting for it to tell these same stories over and over again. And I just take trades. Someday in the course, can you add a video on how you developed a few videos referencing the 8MA and VWAP? It would be nice to see an update. Sure. Yeah, I can add those. Turn on notifications. See you next time. Thank you, Tiverme Silver. Thank you for stopping by. This chop really ruined me. Yeah, don't get chopped up. One of the easiest ways to know if, well, it's not easy, but we should do every single day is think about where we are temporally, right? That just means time, by the way. So what day of the week is it? It's Wednesday. Wednesday, by the way, the ATR on Wednesday is one of the lowest days in any given week. A little stat for you, okay? Thursdays tend to have a bigger ATR. Right now, settlement into Monday is the biggest mover. Okay, so you should be looking for trades. Settlement, open 6 p.m. Sunday, Monday. Okay, that's been the meta. On Wednesdays, just not a day you should be looking for big hits overall or in general. So just knowing information like that is going to help you out a lot as a trader. But yeah, if the market's slow, just do nothing. Blew my 150K funded. Dang, man, sorry to hear that. So close to getting payout to do with TPT, but I got cocky and full ported 15 minis. Well, you know what you did there. I guarantee you, if you never do that again, that will be at least a 20% improvement as a trader. You should never full port. I could tell you right now, even if that would have worked out for you, you would have lost it all, right? Because the behavior is bad. Okay, a broken clock is right twice a day, sometimes more, but it's still broken. So you don't want to get lucky. If you rely on luck, you will get unlucky. In any case, that's it. Thanks for stopping by. My name's Forrest. I invest in stuff. I hope that you do too. Come tomorrow with some hot trading questions. We're going to get them answered. I appreciate all of you taking a little bit of your life energy and spending it with me and everybody else in the chat this morning. We could be doing anything. So I'm glad that you did something with me. Regardless of where you are in your trading journey, approach it with optimism. Be excited. That's all I got. See you tomorrow.